Okay, this is part 2 of my consciousness discussion. You can call it a rant if you'd like. And the reason why this is coming up, okay, for me, is because I just took a course with some people that I love. I love some of these people. And I've followed one of them for years, loosely followed a few of them. And they're so aware and so awake and teaching so many good things and helping so many people. But there's some fundamental issues with some of the stuff that they're teaching that's a big, huge problem for the enlightenment of humanity and helping all of the consciousness on this planet. And I'm going to get into why. Because every single time that I try to interact with people that are claiming to be enlightened or claiming to be gifted or claiming to be awake and aware or claiming to be activists or truth tellers or any of that, there's always a point that I hit where I have to start being quiet and observing and thinking, why do they not know this? And if they do know this, how can they sleep at night knowing they're keeping their mouths shut? And I'll tell you why. Because they've got money. Okay? I just spent a month. I can hear it now. I really don't care. I can tell you right now. I just spent a month working my ass off on a whole bunch of things that got completely destroyed and wiped out by Amazon and Google because I have kept my mouth open my whole life. I have all my life spoken up for other people, other cultures, for children, people being treated unfairly, and all this. Okay? I don't have any problem with that. But the bottom line is, humanity is at a point right now where if people don't stop doing what they're doing, you're heading over a cliff. And it's fine if you want to head over a cliff, if that's your choice, but you're harming the whole. And you don't have the right to keep harming the whole if you're consciously aware that you're doing it. So the topic that usually comes up that really gets me is what all the Enlightenment gurus, I'm not going to even start saying names, you're all going to know who I'm talking about. When all the Enlightenment gurus that have a huge platform because people are supporting them are explaining that when you're a child and you're abused, you've created it for yourself and you've invited it for yourself so everybody can just ignore it. That's not okay. Here's the deal. There's 2 scenarios there. I can see beings in people that aren't human, so I'm not going to debate it. There's 2 scenarios there. Either you agreed to come in as a child into your lifetime to serve humanity or to serve the growth of the beings on this planet, or you came in here, okay, and in which case you still have, might have karma. It depends on what you are. The other scenario is you come in here as a reincarnated being and you have karma to work out. Neither one of those things excuses adult behavior that harms children. So if you're teaching people that it's okay to live a lifestyle that harms children in any way because they deserve it, because it's part of the karmic loop or part of their path, or the best one is when you start telling people, and I can see it in all of these groups, there's always people that are really downtrodden, that have really taken a beating, that probably are here to serve, that are extremely psychic, that are being told basically that they don't have a right to exist because they're not vibrating at a high enough frequency. Okay. They're not vibrating at a high enough frequency so as to manifest their dream life. There's a whole lot of things to be said about mind over matter and dream life. I started out that way. But there are certain people in this world that make it their business to destroy people that come in here that are gifted, that have a point to make, that have a duty to do, that have a service to provide. And my example right now that I'm going to give is, oh, it's probably backwards. I don't know. My mind's not doing that right now because I'm hungry. But here's the thing. About 10 years ago, old Andy Cooper on CNN and some Fox News people, they did a news broadcast on mainstream media 10 years ago that said 5,200 employees were caught doing this on government time with government credit cards. Okay? We're not going to even get into where did those where did their materials come from? Okay, I can't say what I even want to say because I'm having everything that I do in my life destroyed because I'm doing the right thing. Your tax dollars are funding, and if you're living your life telling people that it's okay to live your enlightened lifestyle and not pay attention to any of those things because the children deserve it or because people who are abused deserve it, there's something wrong with you and you're part of the problem. And you have a whole lot more of your awakening process to go through before you're going to be at the level you think you're at. And I can see, so I can see it. I can't ignore it. I can't ignore it. And so there always, invariably, comes a point where I have to say, I can't even work around these people. I can't deal with these. Still aren't my people. They're still not my people. They're close. But as soon as I start to say something, man, does it come out like a whack-a-mole. I always end up having to say a couple things and just be done because if I don't, it's a big to-do. In 2016, there was a big to-do with this goofy group on Facebook, okay? I'm not even going to get into it. Each and every one of you people has a vested interest in not speaking the entire truth. And the people that have been speaking the entire truth, trying to actually help the people that are really being harmed by this entire machine, are the ones that are taking a hit. And y'all are kicking them while they're down. You're kicking them while they're down. I would be willing to bet that there's several gurus online. One of them was mentioned in this chat in this group the other day. This person wasn't involved in the group, but that guru most likely has had a lot of people commit suicide after listening to that person. And that person was being lauded as a hero guru in the chat in this class that I took the other night. And it was everything. I left the room because I was doing something. I came back in and that was in the chat. And I thought, well, that's not what I'm in this class for. And I have a level where I'm at a level where I can't even interact because there's no one that's aware. And if they are aware, then there's something wrong that they're teaching people to ignore this. If everyone doesn't stop this, it's only going to get worse. And you might think you're slipping by. You might think you're getting away with something, but I can promise you right now, with all of the things and the beings and the stuff that I see, you're not getting away with anything. You're not getting away with anything. Because behind every one of these, do you know how many we ones they have to have? You're going to say that it's all their fault? Are you really going to say that it's all their fault? You're going to look at me and you're going to tell your friends, oh, she's just damaged. Oh, she just can't vibrate high. I'm a queen. I have almost entirely royal bloodlines. I can vibrate high. I can see things, and I've been able my entire lifetime to see things that everyone else can't see. And I know what's in reality that is real and what's not real. And I'm not trying to fix everything all by myself, but I'm really frustrated with people claiming that they're aware of the consciousness and all of this. If you don't understand that you paying for that is part of the problem in the web of consciousness of all of creation in this world, you need to meditate a little more, which, by the way, I've started doing. It helps real a lot. But here's the thing. You're not as enlightened as you think you are. And this gang attacking like wild dogs of anybody that dares to stand up and say it, going to go down in history of humanity as part of the problem, and it's going to be very bad. If people don't start standing up and stop being, I'm going to say it, emasculated, why do you think women have to act like men? It was done by design, but nobody can fix it if you don't admit there's a problem. There are certain things in science that have certain functions, and certain things have to be done, and not everyone can do the same jobs. You got to wake up, people. You got to wake up, people, because we're right there where you're part of the problem and you're making the wrong decisions as people that are gifted. And I think if you wanted to get into some biblical teaching, you could probably say that's where even the elect are being deceived. So check out the video that I'm going to link down below about Sophia. And you'll understand where my level of consciousness is and what it is that I'm aware of when I'm talking about all of this. Because I can see how all of the energy fields around me, I can see how it all interacts. And if you can stand there and teach people about enlightenment and act like if a child is abused, oh, it probably only happened a couple of times and then they just hang on to it forever. If you can't understand how you're part of that problem by doing what you're doing, then you need a slap upside your head. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be violent, but I'm really, really, really angry at the entire community of people claiming that they've got the whole, they've got the monopoly on everything that's enlightenment. And yet they will not tell the truth about the children. They won't even encourage other people that they're teaching to think about doing things in an ethical way. If you're paying people that aren't developing themselves, you're short-circuiting yourself. You're You're cutting your own nose off to spite your face. I sound like George Bush. Listen, if you would take somebody that's actually educated, that's aware like I'm aware, that's fought the battles that I've fought, that's done the good that I've done, that stood against all this stuff like I've done and taken all the hits and not even complained. I don't believe in this complaining to get sorry and get it, or to have everybody feel sorry for you and give you whatever. And, oh, you get a trophy because your whining story is bigger. No. I don't get into all that. I don't even want to talk about mine. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. But bottom line is, if I'm developing myself and then I hit a place where I can't even get paid when I'm supposed to get paid, but somebody that's not doing those things is getting paid to do the job that I actually took the time and the training and the energy to put into it to learn how to do it, then you're preventing people that have actually put in the effort and put in the work from elevating even further for the sake of the whole. If I could do what I need to do, because people were willing to pay me to do it instead of somebody in another country that'll do it for $7 an hour instead of 50, if that's the case, does that person have the ability to keep lifting? Because I'm trying to do things that are lifting, and I don't even want to complain about it, but I think you get my point. You're supporting the wrong energetic and you're stunting the growth of all of humanity. The entire species is at stake here, and you're encouraging people to do things in the cheap way. And the cheap way sometimes is good. I have to shop at Walmart sometimes too. But if everybody continues to do this stuff, it's not enlightened. So don't act like you can see how everything is connected, because if you could see the pain that it causes when you're doing things that are harming all of the other things in the whole and acting like you don't care, you have to understand what you're funding. You have to understand what your soul is contracted to. You have to understand what you are enabling and supporting, and you have to take full personal responsibility for that, or you're not enlightened. Nobody's perfect. I do